grab a prayer book and a program. You go. We always want people to sit towards the front, and I realize like if you put the comfiest chairs in the front row, maybe that's the opportunity to get people to come a little bit closer.
The problem in the sanctuary is that all the chairs, they're all comfy.
Well, maybe we have to invest in some like super comfy front row chairs, like those massage chairs or something like that.
It reclines, we can take it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody else is going.
Good. Here's 3 seats right here if you'd like.
Thank you.
Whatever you'd like.
Should we just sit right here, these three? We can sit right here?
Or are you more comfortable?
I think those chairs would be better for you. You're very welcome.
I mean, I do. I knew someone was qualified for Hawaii. I thought that was amazing.
Oh, yeah. That's a cool, that's a neat spot.
Very positive.
I don't know him, but he lived across the street.
You know,
Kitty corner from where my friends live.
Oh.
We can hash some out as well.
Thanks, Howard.
We'll gather ourselves with a nigun, a melody with no words, kind of help create a bit of a container for ourselves. I'll invite you to join in whenever you feel ready.
Shabbat Shalom. And Mo'adim L'Simcha. And Cantor, maybe we can teach the traditional response. Mo'adim L'Simcha is like we come here in joy, which are the words that we say in the days of Sukkot and also the days of Passover. And there's a traditional response. And you want
3 words.
3 words. Repeat after Cantor.
Chagim.
Chagim.
Uzmanim.
Uzmanim.
Lissason.
Lissason. Which means like the holiday, right? And the times of our delight. And so what a wonderful way, our Zman Simchatenu, our season of joy, our season of Sukkot, our sacred day of rest and reflection. It's wonderful to be with all of you here, many coming in from the Sukkah. We say hi to all of those who are streaming. We turn to page 128 for Hine Matov Umanai. Turn to our Sabbath candle lighting on page 120, and we'll invite Josh and Lindsay and Matthew and Jonathan up to light our Shabbat candles, and we'll bring your grandparents as well. They're here joining us. Uh-oh, did our bar mitzvah just sneak out? Uh-oh. Well, they didn't know, I guess, when we were doing our candle lighting, so. Let's sing the words of Shalom Aleichem, and then we'll light our Shabbat candles. Page 142.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharim, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barkuni l'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Sichem l'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Page 120, we light our Sabbath candle. We invite for his next week's bar mitzvah, along with his parents, his grandparents, and his siblings, to light our festive candles. Chadodi. Welcome the Sabbath Bride, verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And right before the last verse, we'll all rise and we'll face the door, the entrance, as we figuratively welcome Shabbat's presence formally into our community. 138. Psalm 92, a special psalm for this Shabbat day, Tov Lehodot Ladonai, is on the top of page 140.
Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat Tov Lehodot Ladonai Uzamer Shimcha Elyon Tov Lehodot Ladonai Uzamer Shimcha Elyon Lehagi Baboker Chasecha
the Baruch Hu, our formal call to worship, 146.
Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Let's read together on the top of page 148. Join together in the Hebrew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim v'chokhma poteach she'arim uvitna v'shaneh itim u'machalif et hazmanim u'mesader et hakokabim v'mishmerotehem barakira kirtzono borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or u'ma'avim yom u'mevi layla u'mavdil ben yom u'ben layla Adonai tzvaot shemo el chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. Turn the page. Our special psalm, meditation before the words of the Shema, Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta. Agen Adonai Eloheinu, Shomeinu v'kumeinu, Nasiach
We'll invite Josh once again forward to lead us in the words of the Via Hafta, which are on page 154.
ושרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אלוהיכם אמת.
Yasher Koach. Last time I saw Josh, he was umping a West Madison Little League baseball game. He was wearing the mask and the catcher's mitt and everything, controlling the game, making sure those angry parents didn't act badly on the sidelines, and no doubt your bar mitzvah, now that you're truly welcoming you as an adult in our community, can really handle those folks on the baseball field. Turn to the words of Micha Mocha, our prayer of freedom and our prayer of redemption, 158.
We're going to use that melody that we sang a little bit at the very beginning of the service, this nigun. It's actually called the Na'anu'im nigun, the shaking nigun. It's the melody that is like attached to the lulav in the deepest kind of way, and so it then becomes attached to Micha Mocha on this Shabbat during Sukkot as well. So we'll sing it as a nigun first, just to refresh our memory a little bit.
Bethel, longtime educator, many of you know Larry Cohn is a really beautiful poet. And he wrote this beautiful poem for Sukkot that I put on the inside of the program. And it's a really beautiful poem because it actually bridges the liturgy a little bit from this prayer of freedom and redemption into our song of Hashkivenu, which is on page 160. And I thought we could read this poem together as we head towards this song of shelter. Corn stalks and fruit drape the walls of this rough and ready dwelling, this fragile booth exposed to weather and modernity, rooted in the soil of an exodus remembered, a land restored, palm and myrtle, citron and willow, sojourn in the company of open hands, thankful hearts.
We'll sing the Chatzimah, the concluding part of Hashkivenu together. Baruch Kata, Ata Adonai, Haporei Sukkah, Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'achol amo Yisrael. Ve'al Yerushalayim ve'achol amo, ve'al Yerushalayim Shalom. Ve'al Yerushalayim ve'achol amo, ve'al Yerushalayim Shalom. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukkah, Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'achol amo Yisrael. Shalom aleinu ve'achol amo Yisrael.
We are people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happens once upon a time happens all the time. That is Shabbat.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם בריתונם. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריתונם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריתונם. לדורותם בריתונם. לדורותם בריתונם.
We're able to once again rise as we enter the Amidah on 164. We're going to sing this meditation together as a community, and then we'll enter these moments of silent reflection, silent prayer, some of the beautiful words of the Siddur. And when you're done with your personal prayer, you can be seated.
Adonai sevatatita ufia giteilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. you're still exploring the prayers in the Situr or the prayers, that Torah of your own heart, you're certainly welcome to continue. But we'll offer a little a seasonal meditation, page 664. You're welcome to join in or just take it in, however you like. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to eat. Everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together. Everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time of love, a time of hate, a time of war, a time of peace, a time you may embrace, a time to refrain from embracing. Everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to gain, a time to lose, a time to rent, a time to sow, a time for love, a time for hate, a time for peace. I swear it's not too late. Everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time for every purpose under heaven.
Thousands of years before Pete Seeger or Bob Dylan or the Byrds or morning radio played this song, Turn, Turn, Turn. It was written by Kohelet. And Kohelet, the book of Ecclesiastes, is the special book that we read in this season of Sukkot. Each of our festivals has a books of the Nevi'im, the books of the Ketuvim, the books of the prophets that's connected to them. And so this one, Turn, 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 is connected to Sukkot. How wonderful that we sing it tonight. Especially these last words, right? A time for love, a time of hate, a time for peace. I swear it's not too late. I'm sure that, like me, like many of you, think about this season of Sukkot, this season of fragility. The sukkah is one of the great symbols of fragility. We set this booth up that's never meant to be permanent. And we spend a week in there. Each fall in this harvest time when the full moon's out and the abundance of the crops are there. And we enter this Shabbat as fragile people, specifically thinking, of course, of the news of Israel and the news of Gaza. On some level, this rejoicing day has like a miraculous spark of joy that we've been praying for 2 years, that we've been thinking about all the time. The release of hostages, the end of war. And no doubt there's still lots of uncertainty, like within our own fragile mindset. Uncertainty about, will this thing that we see people cheering actually happen? will this release actually happen, but also uncertainty about, what conditions living hostages will return to after 2 years of captivity. Uncertainty about what will happen to the remains of dead hostages. Uncertainty about what will come next for innocent people in Gaza. And so how do we navigate this idea of rejoicing, this joy that was truly felt when we saw the photos of dancing in Gaza and dancing in Tel Aviv, and yet how do we hold all of this fragileness that the holiday of Sukkot challenges us to think about? And so when we begin to see the smiles and the light and return to these eyes that have been emptied of grief and, a testament to the power of all the people. This deal is really important. It's really important for the people in Gaza. It's really important for the people in Israel. And it was, while the Trump administration and the Qataris and the Turks are getting all of this credit, and they do deserve that. Thank God that this captivity is over. I really do think that, what has happened here is the outpouring of grief and support and love constantly for 2 years from people yearning for their loved ones to come home, like yearning for the hostages to come home. This political shift that has happened in the land of Israel is because of the tenacity and the wisdom and the indefatigable nature of so many people who are out in the streets, despite it all, with a sliver of optimism and hope in their hearts. The poll that I read today said 83% of Likud, so right-wing voters, support this deal. Proves like the power of this grassroots action. And no doubt it was certainly the political nature of it that made it happen in the last week or weeks, but it's certainly the people. So I'd like to just say, our responsibility, as a community, our job as a connected Jewish people, is to maintain that vigilance, right? To ensure that this deal holds, to ensure that there are people that can imagine a better future in Gaza, in Israel, a future of shared society, even when we feel like that is just a sliver of the population, or when we feel like that is a minority opinion. There is an opportunity to envision it. I just wanted to share one text, and I shared this yesterday in the Sukkah. And it's a very powerful text, and I'll pass it out. For those of you who are streaming, I'll just read it as well. And it. So this is from the biblical book of Nehemiah, one of the last books of the Bible. This is sort of a post-temple destruction book. So if you think in your chronology, think around the year 400, 500 BCE, and it's one of the last books redacted in the Bible. And sometimes we think of the words of Nehemiah and Ezra. And so the temple has been destroyed, and many of the people have been exiled from Jerusalem. Right? They have been exiled from Jerusalem, and this is the beginning of the stages where the people return. They return to the land. Some of them, not all of them return, but many of them return. And Nehemiah captures what happens during that return, and powerfully, it's about Sukkot. So I'll just read it. I would love to have you read it normally, but because of people streaming, it's easier with the microphones. So this is in the section of Nehemiah 8. On the second day, the heads of the clans of all the people and the priests and the Levites gathered to Ezra the scribe to study the words of the teaching. So the people came out. They came out into the square after, to listen to Ezra the scribe. Right? And they found written in the teaching that God at Adonai had commanded Moses that the Israelites must dwell in booths during the festival of the 7th month. That's the festival of Sukkot. Right? Even though Rosh Hashanah started, we have multiple New Years. We're not going to talk about that right now, but think this is the 7th month. What we're talking about is the agricultural festival of Sukkot. And so this is what they studied They studied the laws of Sukkot, the festival of booths during the 7 months, and that they must announce and proclaim throughout all their towns and Jerusalem as follows. Go out to the mountains and bring leafy branches of olive trees, pine trees, myrtles and palms, and other leafy trees to make booths as it is written. That sukkah that we were having snacks and wine and juice in earlier comes from that, from this. This is 2,500 years ago, 2,600 years ago, that this comes out. This is exactly what they're talking about. This agricultural holiday of booths, this agricultural holiday of fragility. So the people went out and brought them. They actually listened and made themselves booths on their roofs and in their courtyards and in the courtyards of the house of God. That's Beth El, right? The house of God. They made it in the courtyard of the house of God, in the square of the water gate, and in the square of the Ephraim gate. These are the gates to the old city of, or the, not wasn't the old city then, the gates to the city of Jerusalem. And they built the sukkahs, right? When they talk about the water gate, they're not talking about Lake Wingra, but why not, right? And so they went out and they built the sukkahs. And if you've ever been in Israel over Sukkot, what you do is you see these sukkahs everywhere. You see them on balconies, and you see them in yards, and you see them throughout Jerusalem and other parts of it, and they're really an amazing sight. And you see them full. All these people following the rules of Ezra and Nehemiah 2,600 years ago. And then this is the section that's so powerful. The whole community that returned from captivity, made booths and dwelt in the booths. The Israelites had not done so from the days of Joshua, son of Nun, to that day. And there was a very great rejoicing. When this section of the Bible is talking about the people that are returning from captivity after the destruction of the temple, those who are exiled. But what it does is it talks about those who have returned have the opportunity to celebrate our holidays in joy, right? And if we think about what is the promise of fragility, and the promise that Nehemiah talks about is that the whole community, including all of those who had returned, had the ability, made booths and dwelt in those booths, and look at this, and there was very great rejoicing. Like, if this doesn't talk about what some of us are feeling today and we aspire for throughout this weekend, that those in captivity have the ability to celebrate their holidays once again. And no doubt they will be broken, and they have so much healing to do, as do their families. But there is an opportunity for this sense of joy for all of those who have the power of return. And he read from the scroll of the teaching of God each day from the first to the last day. Those are the holidays of Sukkot that we're in the heart of right now. They celebrated the festival 7 days, just as we celebrate the festival 7 days. And there was a solemn gathering on the 8th as prescribed. Like, this is amazing when we think about our tradition, like where we come from, who we are as people that have helped bring us to this moment as Jews 2025 in Madison, this moment where we have offered prayers and thoughts and grief and anguish and hope and optimism for captives for the last 2 years, that we have the opportunity for potentially to have this symbol of rejoicing within our sukkahs. Like, it just moves me to think about our ancient tradition and then how we have that. With that in mind, we're going to turn to our Misha Barak prayer within our service. This healing prayer, right? We acknowledge that every one of us or someone we love is through a state of illness and weakness or fear. That moment that connects deeply to the spirit of Sukkot, the festival that we are celebrating. That temporary hut is the purest symbol of the Jewish condition on some level. Exposed, dependent, yet standing and rejoice-filled. And so, like, in that vulnerable space that the sukkah symbolizes, we're giving the power, the prayer that defines our deepest spiritual intention. Livracha velo liklala, lechaim ulo lemavet. This is the prayer demand for a shift in reality, transforming opposition into good. So the cantor and I are going to sing this. Join with us for our healing prayer tonight. From curse to blessing. From death to life.
473.
I'll call it out, I promise. From want to abundance. From weakness to strength. From illness to wholeness. Right? Like this is the opportunity for true healing. We'll be channeled into a source of strength, absolute health, and undeniable blessing. This is the song of our season. If you're praying for someone in need of healing, I invite you to share their name out loud at this time.
Sam Lucas, Chuck Lewis. Cynthia Hardman.
Those who suffer from mental illness.
So now, 473. God renews the earth. With dewdrops of light and blessing, let the earth be illumined and blessed. With dewdrops of joy and delight, let the earth rejoice and sing out. With dewdrops of life and well-being, let the earth be revived and improved. With dewdrops of redemption, let the earth be redeemed. For blessing and not for curse. For life and not for death. For abundance and not want. Turn to Aleinu. If you're able, we rise. The top of 586. To our prayer of memory, Mourner's Kaddish, which is on page 598. If I read the name of your loved one, I invite you to rise in their honor and will rise as one community to say Kaddish together. In this period of Shiva, the first week since passing, our Beth El community remembers Ken Tragish, father of Brian and Orit, and grandfather of Elliot and Sam. In this period of Shloshim, the 30 days since passing, our community remembers Mark Benderson, Andrea Zinder, Barbara Landau, Michael Daly, and Barry Yampolsky. And on this period of Yahrzeit, the anniversary since death, we remember with love Pamela Perlich Burgum, Evelyn Rappaport Berman, Henry Bress, Frida S. Cohn, Milton B. Elliott, Claire Erlinger, Marcia Frank Burns, Rachel Giller, Joseph Goldenberg, Toby Goldstein, Teresa Hirschberg Goodfriend, Harry J. Goodman, Meyer N. Hasden, Edward C. Kirby, Sam Klein, Jack Koch, Dorothy Sturman Konigsberg, Henry Lapidus, Howard J. Pillay, Merrill Pittleman, Miriam Port, Dr. Joseph Preisler, David Raznick, Rudolph Rosenberg, Joseph Rubenstein, Irving Schauer, Henry Schwartz, Irving F. Shapiro, Lucille Shapiro, Carol Sinaiko, Rachel Sinaiko, Rosalind Kramer Sinaiko, Harriet Spector, Mona K. Stern, Tamar Suchman, Stephen R. Tarkow, Lillian Alpert Tuckman, Haskell M. Waldenberg, and Herman A. Wolf. If you're thinking of someone whose name I didn't call, potentially someone that has passed away recently or in the last year, I invite you to rise and share their name out loud at this time. We rise as one community and say those words of Kaddish together. Yitkadal,
Yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, Ve'alma Divarach Yerutei Yomit Malchutei, V'chayechon Yomechon, U'v'chayei V'chol Beit Yisrael, V'agalal V'zman Kariv V'yimru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah Mevarach Le'alam U'lamei Almaya, Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal, Shemei Gekucha Barichu, Le'elam Ninkol Birchata V'shirata, Tushbechata V'nechemata, Damiram B'alma V'yimru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'yimru Amen. Osei Shalom B'mromav, Uyaseh Shalom, Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, V'yimru Amen.
May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen. Cantor's going to take us out with a beautiful, hey, how fun is it to have Mike here? We're so lucky to have Mike throughout the high holidays, and it's wonderful to have you here. It's fun to do this service in this room. We do hope you come enter the sukkah. The lights are on, the wine is out. Linger, shake the lulav, smell the etrog, greet somebody new as we rejoice in our holiday today.
All right, well, you just said rejoice in our holiday, so we're going to actually say those words. They're on page 663, V'samachta b'chagecha, and you shall rejoice in your festival days. Say by the way, when they say rejoice in your festival, they're actually referring very specifically to Sukkot, which was called the festival. V'samachta I'm
join together in Kiddush on page 123.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'rata banu, b'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'ratzon inchilanu, zikaron lemaaseh bereishit, hihu yom techiyah lemikraei kodesh, zecher litziat mitzrayim, ki banu bacharta v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'v'ratzon inchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
So who's going to win tomorrow night?
Badgers.
Brewers? Cubs? Barry, what do you think?
Brewers.
Brewers. All right, Barry says the Brewers, so it's going to be the Brewers. So, right, let's say Motzi together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Maria. Please head into the sukkah and say hi to someone you have not met or you have not seen in a long time.
Good seeing you guys.
Good seeing you.
Good seeing you too.
And you know what? I may actually reach out to you because I know that Burnett, and I think you need more than one letter to have a nomination.
Let me know. Because he's been strong all the way through.
Yeah, you can give that
For the day that I hired him.
Yeah, give that historical respect.
Yeah, he's worth it.
So, my mom passed away when she got married at 100. She lived to eat her 100th birthday. And she just said,
Another third below.
I got to 100th birthday. I really think that was important. This is her cashmere sweater. A lot of places. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Pleasure. Thank you for helping with the mics.
Was she still in her own house?
Only the last 4 months.
I didn't say hi earlier. Yeah, I'm glad that you're here. It was nice. I met your daughter the other day. And all the kids. It was awesome to meet them. Yeah, Molly.
I told you, family medical family was awesome.